for 2021. This is the second webinar in our ASA Expert series. Today's topic is, how do I settle my child into preschool? My name is Dana Newman. I've gotten to know Shaws quite a bit over the years, both on the parent end. I had 2 children that attended Shaws, and now as the enrollment manager. We are very fortunate that Shaws helped instill a love of learning and enthusiasm for school in our children. So we're grateful for that. Our guest speaker today is Ms. Amelia Esmail-Tan, Curriculum Director for Shaws. Amy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi.
To give a brief outline of today's session, we have Amelia speaking with us about today's topic. Again, that's how do I settle my child into preschool? We will then have a brief question and answer session to follow. We invite you to use the chat function to send in your questions, and we'll get through as many questions as possible today. With that, I'm proud to introduce you to Amelia. Amelia started her career in early childhood 18 years ago as a preschool teacher. She holds a Master of Education in Early Childhood from the University of South Australia. And throughout her career in this industry, she's held various teaching and leadership positions, both locally and overseas. She is especially passionate about curriculum development and in teacher training. So for the past 9 years, she's been responsible for those areas in Shaws. If you've been following us on our ShawsTalks Ask the Expert series, Amelia would be a familiar face. She's done several talks on various topics relating to early childhood education, and you can view all of her talks on the Shaws Preschool YouTube channel. So thank you for joining us today, Amelia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Emilia. Parents, starting your child at a preschool could be one of the most challenging transitions you've had to face since becoming a parent. I've been through it myself 3 times over. I'm sure many questions will run through your mind. How will they cope? How will you cope? How do you answer all their questions? Are they going to cry? Are you going to cry? We know it can be tough, from choosing the right preschool to separation anxiety. And that's why we've put together some tips to help you and your child get through this milestone. Okay, so first things first, settling into preschool is a transition. Yeah, and a transition is a journey, it's a process. It takes place over a period of time and it's not a one-off thing. Yeah, so the transition actually has already begun with your process of searching for a preschool and will last through all the way till your child actually is well settled into preschool. And because each child is different, they all take different amounts of time to settle. Yeah. If you have already chosen a preschool and enrolled your child in, then that's already one huge step out of the way. Yeah, it's not easy with the many choices that you have. So if you have found a preschool that you trust, well done. That's one big tick out of the way. If you have yet to enroll your child in a preschool, then I would say the most important thing is to pick a preschool that you trust. Yeah, you are leaving your most precious child under the care of a team of preschool teachers, so be sure you trust them. Well, if you need some tips on selecting the right preschool for your child, have a look at our infographic right here. There is a QR code that you can scan if you'd like, and this leads you to a checklist of certain things that you should be looking out for when selecting a preschool for your child. Sorry, Dana, we can't hear you.
Oh, pardon me, I was muted. Okay.
Yes,
I
and
was
she's
saying
back.
thank you for this web resource. It's this document's found in the blog section actually of the Shaws website, so you can locate it there as well. But Amy, what can you share with us about ensuring a successful transition?
Right. So, in our experience over the years in Shaws, we feel that a successful transition hinges on 3 main things. Yeah. So, the first thing is the readiness of parents, and then we've got the readiness of child and the readiness of preschool. Okay. So, for today, let's spend a little bit of time to talk about each of these briefly. Okay, so parents, you have to be prepared for the transition and the separation too, right? Your child starting preschool is a new experience for you as well. So don't forget to prepare yourself. Yeah. So first thing is to prepare yourself for the separation anxiety. Yeah. Talk your feelings through with your spouse. If you have siblings, family members, or friends who have gone through the process, talk to them and find out what the process was like for them. Get some tips and tricks, find out what worked for them. Okay. Now, secondly, is to try to stay positive as much as possible so that your child does not pick up on the anxiety. Okay, your child takes cues from you. So if you're worried about preschool, he or she will definitely pick up on this. Okay, keep reminding yourselves you've picked the school because you trust the principal and you trust the teachers. Okay, now, thirdly, now in Shaws, we have a very comprehensive parents handbook where you can read all about our SOPs and policies. So spend time reading through that so that you know what to expect once school starts. Okay. Next, if you have friends and neighbors whose children are in the same school, talk to them, yeah, and have their children talk to yours, because we feel that building a network and support system can really help ease your worries, yeah, sometimes, and build good associations in your child's mind about the school and all the fun that he's going to have. Okay. Next is to develop good communication with the preschool teachers. Yeah, this can really help you overcome some worries. Ask all the questions that you need to ask. Yeah, and at the same time, be open about sharing information about your child and communicate your concerns openly. Okay. Now, for sure, you will get to stay with your child for the first 2 days of school. So you will have to make arrangements to be away from work for that time so that you can focus your time and energy and attention on the little one.
This is spot on, Amelia. As parents, we often overlook ourselves and we can underestimate, the emotional effect that this process might have on us as well.
Yes, absolutely. Now, so next comes the next big thing, right? Which is the readiness of your child. To help build the readiness in your child, it's important that you take time, yeah, so that your child gradually learns more and more about going to school. And when they know what to expect, it gets a lot easier for them. Yeah, the better they understand, the safer they feel. And the safer they feel, the better they will cope. Okay, so in essence, you are introducing a big change to their lives. If they've been staying at home with mom and dad, all of their lives, of their long 1.5 years of life, right? So there will be a reaction, some bigger than others, but there will be a reaction. So it is up to us adults to help them process the change and get better and better at dealing with it. Okay, so start early. Now, first and foremost, before school begins, start taking your child to see the school. Okay, this can be as simple as a drive by past the school and point out how exciting it looks, the playground, the sandpit, the big field, the colorful building. This will allow your child to become familiar with the surroundings and maybe even a few faces or landmarks around the preschool. Even if you can't go into the school because of safe management measures, at least going past the school or even going through the route between home and school will make a big difference to your child. Yeah. In Shaw's Preschool, we can arrange for you to bring your child in for a quick visit on the Saturday before the week that your child starts. Yeah. Now, secondly, is to go shopping. Yeah, take your child to go and get a new backpack, a new water bottle, a snack box. Yeah, this gives your child a certain sense of control, and mentally prepare them for starting school. Okay, next is to talk to your child about starting preschool. I know they're really young, but children actually understand a lot. Yeah, so talk your child through what the first day of preschool will be like, the many fun things they will be doing at preschool. For example, playing in the playground, the toys that they will find in their classroom. Okay, if they like blocks, for example, or Legos, use that. Yeah, mentally prepare them for this new and exciting experience. But follow your child's lead with talking so that your child feels comfortable talking about preschool, but doesn't hear so much about it or so often, yeah, that it becomes overwhelming. So if your child doesn't seem interested when you're talking about preschool, don't push the conversation too hard either. Okay. The next is to start introducing the morning routine. Who will be dropping your child off to preschool? How will they get there? Tell your child what will happen, um, how they will get there, who will take them, who will meet them and look after them in school, introduce them to the teacher, when will they have food, when they will rest, and when they will come back home. Okay, this gives your child a sense of understanding and expectation of what's going to happen. Okay, next, read books about preschool. There are plenty of books out there about children starting school, first day of school. These are just some of the examples of great books that you can use. Yeah, so start early, get them to point out what about the books or the stories that they like, and then tap on that. Okay, then I would suggest that you also start practicing separation. Okay, so for example, leave your child with a grandma or a sibling or a close friend that you trust. This is so that they can learn the idea of detachment, yeah, which is you are leaving them with someone you know, someone they know and they trust, and later you're coming back. Okay, this can be helpful for them to process and also helpful for you, yeah, if this is the first time you're separating from your child. Okay, next is to help them practice self-help skills. So for example, eating by themselves, handling their snack box, that just open and close, helping them to practice how to tear open the little bag of crackers that you pack for snack. Okay, of course the teachers will be there and will help them when they need it, but if they've practiced it many times with you and they're confident doing it themselves, it just might ease a little bit of their worries. Okay, next is to practice vocalizing their feelings so that they are able to express themselves better. So we always find that if children can talk about their feelings, it really helps them cope better because they're not keeping the emotions inside and letting them fester. Okay. Now, as much as possible, try and minimize other changes in their lives. Okay, so big things like moving house or a new helper, time it in such a way that all of these things will settle before they start school, if possible. But of course, life throws us curveballs sometimes. So if there are some big changes that you can't help, just let us know and we can support your child. Okay. Next is to help your child develop social skills. Okay, teach your child how to get on with other people. Let your child spend time with other adults and other children while you are there. Okay, of course, this helps them to get used to being with other people, being away from you slowly, and helps them to learn how to cooperate, to share space with other people. Okay, and eventually will help them to learn how to do things like take turns. Yeah. The next, we suggest that you start adjusting their bedtime if you need to, so that they have a good night's sleep. Okay, and wake up fresh and early for school. Try and get your mornings to look like what they will look like once your child starts school. So in terms of the routine, which is the sequence of things that will happen in the morning, as well as schedule, which is the actual times. Okay, I think that will really help them and will really help you as well. Okay. Next is to encourage your child to try new and challenging things. In your presence, of course, yeah. Help them experience and see how new does not necessarily mean scary or unsafe. Of course, whilst you are there, there is a safe space for them to be able to try new things. So that's something that you can try with your child. It could be a new hobby, it could be a new sport, or just something, a new experience that they've never had before. Okay. Okay, now, last one. This tip is rather specific to Shaws, yeah? You could go over to our YouTube channel. So if you go onto YouTube and search for Shaws Preschool, you will be able to see our channel and you can watch some of our read aloud and sing along videos because these videos actually feature all of our teachers and our 老师, our Chinese teachers. Okay, so it would be a good place to start to introduce the people that your child will meet in school. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much, Amy. These are some really specific examples that parents can put into practice. So children see, hear, and feel so much more than they are able to verbalize. So you as parents can feel really good about all of the efforts that you're making to get them ready for school. So if you're feeling a little bit of separation anxiety yourself, don't worry, it's completely natural. But if you can put on a brave face and a smile, you will pass that confidence on to your little one. So now that we've heard about how parents can help prepare their child What's next, Amelia?
Okay, now the third factor is the readiness of the preschool, right? Well, the good thing is you have already chosen a preschool that you trust. Yeah. All preschools will have a framework, a set of SOPs, standard strategies for settling new children into preschool. Okay. Now, in Shaws, we start getting to know your child even before he or she starts. Yeah. In the registration process, you will receive an all about me form where we request for information like your child's likes and dislikes, how they like to be addressed, things that your child can do well, things that your child has difficulties with, anything that your child is particularly interested in, or something special that settles or comforts your child, some of their routines, their eating habits, napping times, toileting habits, and schedules. Okay. So the teachers will discuss these with you on the first few days of school. Also tell the teachers anything special about your child. For example, the words that she uses to go to the toilet or when he's hungry. I think knowing specific things that your child loves will really help teachers build a relationship with them and make them comfortable, especially on the first few days of settling in. So even things like their favorite song, if you can tell us that in advance, the teachers can incorporate it into their morning circle time. That will make a difference, yeah, to your child. So in short, it's all about having a plan in place. Okay, so in the first 2 days of settling your child, we ask that you stay in class with them. Yeah, and during this time, a lot of information is exchanged. You get to observe how the class functions, how the children interact, how the teachers engage the children, and so on. And at the same time, the teachers are observing how ready your child is to acclimatize to a social setting, how they react and respond to materials, to activities, how they communicate with you, yeah, what excites them, and so on. Now, it can be really exciting and also intimidating, yeah, just like a first date, right? Because all the parties are just getting to know one another. So keep an open mind and at the same time, keep a delicate balance between letting your child take the pace and encouraging him to go and try out a new activity or go join a friend at the slides. Yeah. So encourage, but don't push too hard. That might throw them off. Okay. Now, during the first couple of days, it is especially crucial to communicate with the teachers because children get confidence from seeing the warm, positive, and friendly interactions between the important people in their lives, yeah, namely the parents and the teachers.
So true. Thank you. So now that we've talked about the readiness of parents and children and school, what comes next?
Okay, so now for the big day, yeah, assuming that you've done all of that preparation, the day before preschool, now that's when you need to answer any last minute questions because very often children will, they might get a little bit jittery and want to know, what am I going to wear? Who am I going to meet? Where are we going to go? They might ask questions. So answer their questions, ensure that your child goes to bed on time, and then of course pack your child's backpack together, get them involved in that process of putting their snack box in or their water bottle in and so on. Okay, then on the first day itself, on the day, yeah, wake up early and have a good breakfast. Okay, it always helps that they have a nice full tummy, and then review the day's routine. At Shaws, parents are welcome to accompany their children on the first 2 days. So if you're doing this, let your child know that you'll be there with them, sitting in their classroom with them. Okay. Next, pack the remaining things in your child's bag together, the child's water bottle and snack box. You might wish to let your child choose something special to pack in their bag. Yeah, for example, it could be a favorite book or a stuffed toy. It could also be a photo of the family, maybe a bolster or their little baby sister's pacifier, a mom's worn out t-shirt, or anything at all really that helps them feel closer to home. We've seen some pretty interesting things over the years. So really nothing is too strange for us. So you don't have to feel embarrassed or anything like that. As long as it makes your child feel comfortable and makes them feel like they have a piece of home with them. Yeah. Okay. Now, if you are at Shaw's preschool, a parent is usually in class for the first day or two, right? So During that time, get to know the spaces, the teachers, and even the other children. Become part of the furniture if need be, so that you and your child feel really comfortable. During this time, also share as much information as you can with your child's teacher. Just a note, now whilst you are there in class with your child, the teacher may not hover over your child, yeah, because we don't want your child to feel confused about who's in charge and who's taking care of them, right? So we will try and invite your child into an activity with the rest of the children sporadically, and then give him time to join in. But again, it's okay if your child wants to watch from a distance from your lap. Okay, that's completely fine. We won't keep coming to pull your child in, and don't urge him or push him away from you either, because at this time you are still his safe space. Yeah, so don't worry. We assure you, when you're not there, the teachers will definitely take over and take the lead with your child. Okay. And the next thing is to not force your child into the routine. Okay. Don't feel pressured because the other children are already settled in. It's absolutely okay if your child just wants to observe and explore the school first. We've had children who wanted to go see our kitchen, our toilets, what's upstairs, what's at the back of the school, and this is okay. Don't worry, they won't spend the rest of their 5 years of school wandering around. At this point of time, they're just really curious about the place, and we will gladly allow them to explore if that makes them feel better. Okay. Now, so first 2 days have come and gone. Now, on the day that you start drop off, okay, firstly, plan to stay a little while. On the day that you're doing the drop and go, come early enough to stay a little while before leaving. This, the first 10 to 15 minutes of the day on the playground with you, is a really nice way for your child to start the day right. Once you see that your child is a little more comfortable, and the teacher is right there to be with your child, then say goodbye and leave. Yeah, it's important that a teacher is there so that your child has a caring adult right by their side, right? Secondly is to stay positive. It is so important that your body language is positive, because children very quickly pick up on negative vibes. If you're moody or sulky or afraid or anxious, they will mirror that. Yeah. So stay positive so that your child remains positive. We cannot stress this point enough. So say a proper goodbye and let your child know when you're coming back to pick them up. Don't sneak away, because that can bring about distrust. Yeah. Also, most young children can't tell the time, right? So instead of letting them know what time you're coming back, just use an activity or a routine that they can relate with. So for example, I will come back to pick you up after you're done with lunch. Okay. Next one is to resist running back. Parents, if you hear your child calling for you or crying, resist the urge to run back into the classroom. Your child will feel a little sad or scared when you first leave. This is perfectly normal. However, give the teachers a chance to make him feel safe and secure. If they are not able to, they will call you back. Okay, so do allow the teachers a few minutes to settle your child. Like I said, we will give you a call to update you on how your child is doing after you have left. And sometimes I have to say this, parents, I really, really urge you not to pop your heads in and out of the classroom like a jack in the box. Please don't do that, because it really doesn't help your child settle at all. Okay, so say a proper goodbye and leave. All right. Next is to be prepared for tears. Okay, like I said earlier, it is perfectly normal for your child to feel anxious or scared or sad. Okay, separation anxiety is normal for children. It's a process that they will have to go through, all of them. Yeah, so do be prepared for tears when you leave your child. In Shaws, like I said, parents can stay for the first couple of days. Um, what's really important is that the teachers are able to find that opportunity to work on settling your child within the first few minutes after you leave, because this is the process where trust in the teacher is established. Okay. Now, next one. Try and make your first drop-off day a little shorter. So we usually encourage parents to come a little earlier. Yeah. For example, if The program ends at 12. You might want to come in, say, at 11. Yeah, and then you slowly, gradually, increase the number of hours. This gives your child more time to adjust. Okay. Now, next, when you pick your child up, talk to your child about their day and focus on the positives. Talk about the things that they enjoyed that day, how much fun they had, what toys did they play, what did they do in the playground, and then feed it back to the teachers. Share with your teachers the things that your child liked about their first day, so that the teachers can be sure to prepare those activities or provide those opportunities for your child again, at least for the first few days until your child has settled in. Okay. Yeah. And that's it. Parents, we know it can be overwhelming settling your child into preschool, but I would like to reassure you that we have worked with so many families and so many children, and we have seen so many children transiting successfully. Yeah, so there is light at the end of the tunnel. Well, we hope that by using some of the tips above, your little one will be settled and thriving in no time.
Thank you, Amy. Thanks for those wonderful tips, all that information. Parents, we hope that these tips help help make drop off a little bit easier for you. Do remember to talk to the teachers and the principal. They're there for you. We're all here for you. And if you're at home wondering how your child is at school, pick up the phone. Please give the school a call anytime. Yeah. So
Yes.
now let's try to get to some of your questions. Thank you very much to all of you who have submitted questions via the chat function. And please feel free to continue to do so as we go through these. So let's see here. Here we go. Okay, first question. I breastfeed. Can I bring in my milk for my child?
Yes, definitely. If you're still breastfeeding your child, you can express your milk and then bring it in. We have a special section in the fridge to store your breast milk. So just make sure it's clearly labeled and all that, and then we can definitely feed your child your breast milk.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Um, what if my child is uncomfortable at school and cries all day?
Okay. Firstly, let me assure you that we will never allow any child to cry all day. Yeah. But if your child cries uncontrollably and we are not able to coax them or console them or distract them, don't worry, we will call you. Yeah. We won't let your child be uncomfortable and unhappy all day, for sure. So just keep your phones near. We will call you and discuss what to do. We might ask you to come in earlier to pick your child up, and then we'll try again the next day.
Thank you.
Mm.
Okay. What if my child has a different nap time to school? We get this sometimes if they nap a little earlier or later.
Yeah. So don't worry about that at all. Okay. I think we are very respectful of the child's natural routines, what they're used to in terms of their sleeping, their toileting, and even their feeding habits, right? So we will help your child adjust slowly. It might take a week, it might take 2 weeks. So we will help them slowly adjust to the school's routines.
My wife is really worried about the school, whereas I am the calmer one.
Mhm.
She's a little nervous about our child starting, though we both agree he's ready. Should she come in with our son or should I?
Well, I always feel that between the two parents, right? The calmer and steadier one should be the one who comes in and sits in with your child. Okay, so it always helps that the parent who is more calm sits in, because like I said earlier, right, your child will really pick up on your vibes. So it always helps, yeah, that the calmer one is the one that settles the child. We want to focus on the positivity. We want to focus on the child and helping the child settle. Mm.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay. Thank you to everyone for all these questions. Uh, is it necessary for us to accompany our child? My child is already in infant care and always does better without us.
Okay. So it is actually all right if you cannot accompany your child. We will keep you updated. And supposing that your child is in infant care and is already quite well settled, and you feel that your child is ready to, like I said, if you follow all of those tips up there, as long as you say a proper goodbye and your child seems all right, it's fine that you don't accompany them if you can't. And then we will, of course, update you on how your child is doing. Hmm.
Does my child have to be toilet trained?
Oh, no, no. That's completely not necessary. I think, like I said, we are very respectful of the children's uh, development, right? So if your child is not toilet trained, don't worry about it. We do diaper changing in school. If they're still on diapers and pull-ups and all that, we're still ready to do that. And also because toilet training is a very personal journey, they don't all toilet train at the same time. Yeah, within a cohort of children, they really can be quite different in terms of how ready they are for toilet training. So when your child is ready, if we feel that your child is ready, we will let you know, but you make the decision on when you want to start toilet training your child. And definitely we will work with you and support your toilet training in school.
Okay. What if my child can't feed herself? And actually, we get questions like this quite a bit too. If the child can't feed themselves, or maybe they're a picky eater at a certain stage, that might be another question. What do we have?
Okay. Um, don't worry, if your child is not able to feed themselves, the teachers will help them. And then, of course, gradually encourage them, to self-feed when they are ready. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. I see we've got a couple more questions in there. Right now, this is all we have time for today. But thank you very much for joining us today, Amelia. Amelia is going to be able to reply back to each of you via email. So thank you for that. And thank you for joining us for today's webinar. This rounds up our second Shaw's Talk Ask the Expert series for 2021. So this episode will be uploaded to the YouTube channel, so please look for it. And let us know as well, what topics, do you want our experts to cover in the next series? We look forward to hearing from you. So thank you very much.